All right, it's Monday, new week, new project. What are we doing today? We're going to start working on our monogram letters for ceramics class. I do a similar project in my service design. That's the reason. For this piece, you guys are going to be starting to deal with iconography, dealing with letter design for your monogram piece. I'm working on a video. I might have already have it done. At this time, I'm shooting things well ahead of time, so I have no idea what I've got done at this point. But what you're going to do is you're going to create a letter design out of clay. So think about your letter for your name. Now, if you want to do last name or if you want to do first name, that's totally up to you. I also do a lot of symbol elements, and the reason I do symbol elements is because of this. Remember Mr. G? I have the G in my design, which is part of my tattoo, and I have a piece. I know it's right. It's in this area. I know it's in this area. A monogram G that I did in ceramics, where you're doing this project, where you're doing a flat piece of clay, and you're going to do your symbol on it, and then you're going to dress up elements around the symbol to give overall designs. Now, what is today I want you guys to focus on the sketchbook element of that, where you're drawing these pieces out. Don't just draw one single symbol. Draw at least 5 to 6 of these. The reason being is because you will refine it over time. Over time, the symbol will change. Over the time, a letter will have a different element to it that you've added on. If you made it a little more East Coast graffiti style, where everything is really blocky, but you do have little tips on the ends of each letters, that is a very actually that's more Detroit Midwestern, upper Midwestern elements. Usually see that with the metal crowd, to where if you go far West Coast styles have a lot more linear, have a lot more pull on the line, so they kind of come out as wisp of like ribbons off of the edges of lines, at the edges of design. So think about adding that as a component for your letter element, just because it dresses it up, it makes it look a lot better, looks a lot cleaner. I will recommend that you build the letter solely from a slab rolled piece of clay, and not a coiled piece of clay or a hand pinched piece of clay. Reason being is because the slab roll gives you consistency, and that is by far one of the most key things to this design element. I want to make sure that you guys have your consistency knocked out. So you're going to measure the tile, and I'll have all those dimensions in the notes. Go through the notes. You'll see the 5 things that I'm checking you off for. So the student will section, make sure you've isolated those things out and put those things in your design. One of those things that I like to do in my designs in my sketchbook is lay out like this part of the design that I'm working on here. This is number 1, which is the first thing I'm going to grade you on. Then put down to another section where you're drawing another portion out. This is portion number 2 that I'm going to grade you on. Makes things easier so that you know that you have to cover X, Y, and Z of your design. And I also make it a lot easier for me, so I can kind of look through your sketchbook and see, oh, I see why you're doing this here. I know why you're doing this here. I can give you some advice on this. Otherwise, you're totally solid, totally cool. That's what I like to see. Remember, we have a very collegiate atmosphere here, and that's what I like to keep pushing. So keep working on those things. Slip and score items. Smooth out different textures on other pieces if you haven't got some other pieces done. Otherwise, if you got questions, you know where to find me. Catch you guys on the flip side. Later, guys.